Alright, pulled off to the side of the road, headed to Arizona area. So I'm back down south, pull up to the side of the road to go pee on the side of the highway, which was fun. It's too windy, so you gotta be careful, don't pee downwind. But yeah, on my way to Arizona, and been having a rough time of it. I don't know what's happening. Maybe it's because I'm in Southern California again, or I don't know what it is. Last few days, been struggling for some reason, and I think part of it is I'm disappointed that I am 2+ months into the trip now and still, I don't know, feeling off and having bits of sadness and feeling depressed and all that jazz, and I don't know, it's not how I hoped it would be, but what can you do? But yeah, 2 months in and still no clue what makes me happy. My name is Tony Cuzio. I left my home in Southern California to drive around the country for the next year, interviewing people I meet along the way about what makes them happy and gives their lives meaning. When I was 13 years old, I was diagnosed with leukemia and given about a 30% chance to live. But luckily, after 3 years of pretty intense chemotherapy, where I suffered a collapsed lung and had a stroke and all sorts of crazy stuff, I came out the other end and went into remission, and everything is good to go health-wise. I recovered more or less physically from the disease, but entered a pretty deep depression afterwards, and that's kind of what sparked my interest in happiness and positive psychology. And when I was in college, I had always dreamed of going on a road trip throughout the country, and shooting a documentary as I did it seemed like a pretty fantastic idea, so here I am. Alright, I'm in Big Sur, California, camped here last night, and speaking of camping, here is my lovely tent, which I set up all by myself. I'm very proud of it. It took me a fair amount of time to figure out how it works. It's not my tent. I'm borrowing it courtesy of Julie, so thank you, Julie. But yeah, and theoretically, it's meant for 2 to 3 people, which to me is a bit much. 2, maybe, but 3 I think is a bit ambitious. Unless they're very thin people with minimal personal space issues. Alright, making a little pit stop at Lake Shasta on the way to Portland area. I found this little path, secret path, down to the lake here. I'm not exactly sure if I'm supposed to be here or not. My guess is no, but no one else is around. So I think I'm gonna do a little bit of swimming. The water looks gorgeous, so yeah, it should be a good time, so I'm excited.
I was playing football at university, and I was just kind of going through the motions of life, and I was very close to taking my life, and I jumped on my bicycle and just started riding all over North America, way back in 1970, before people were cross-country bicycling. And what I thought was, it turned out to be 10,000 miles all over the United States and Mexico, but it was really a 10-inch journey back to my heart.
Well, it's not an instantaneous thing. It's not something that happens overnight. What I tell people, wherever you are, you did not just get there. You went on your path, on your journey, and ended up where you are.
Sometimes the society put you these blocks that you need to fit in, otherwise you cannot be happy. And human beings, how we are made, we're so diverse and so different, and that's what makes us so interested. Mm-hmm. So don't try to fit in a mold. You know, society tries to put you in a mold, and what I'm learning is you open yourself, open your brain, open your possibilities, and reach out to others. Go have a conversation with different people.
And what is it that we're witnessing today?
Well, we're having an appreciation barbecue for all the staff, all the physicians. And, we do it because in healthcare, there is this virtuous circle of happy doctors and happy staff make for happy patients.
Wow.
And when you have happy patients, it makes the staff and the doctors happy. So
Yeah.
this is just to feed into that positive energy and let the staff know we're happy that they do what they do as well as they do.
Well, I appreciate what you're doing, because I had my fair share of medical woes when I was growing up, so it's,
So you've been a consumer.
yeah, so yeah, I respect a lot what you're doing, and can appreciate people just in general in any part of life, whether it be work or personal. It's really cool, so thanks so much.
You bet. No matter what you're doing, if it's a path with heart, it's something worth doing.
Happiness, I think, is finding your passion, following it.
I believe that the happiest people are people who have a vision for their lives, who know where they're going, who have passion.
If you're somewhat in touch with who you are, then you work with that path. And for me, it's always been having to do with plants and agriculture.
All right, we are in Silverton, Oregon, which is just outside of Salem, at Deercrest Farm, which is where I've been staying for the last week or so, working and living, and it's been awesome. It's beautiful out here. Got really lucky with the weather. It's been sunny, and it's just awesome to be really tuned into nature, and working on a farm has been a really cool experience. Chicken on the loose. You've escaped. Well done. How are you? Why the long face? This is Clover. She was my first goat that I milked. Oh, and she just wanted to pee a little bit. Excellent. Thank you, Clover. It's great for the camera. Always a special place in your heart for your first. Something special about waking up early in the morning and working all day, and then being exhausted at night and going to bed, and then waking up the next day and doing the whole thing over again. Something honorable or like meaningful about that. How are we today, ladies? Everyone is looking lovely. Okay, what does happiness mean to you? No answer, huh? How about you? Anybody? Happiness? Don't be chicken. King apple, right off the tree. It's as good as it gets right here. Maybe I'll be a farmer when I grow up, who knows? But it's been awesome, and as you can see, I got the beard growing in an attempt to look more manly and farm-like. And sadly, this is as beardy as I can get, but it was a valiant attempt. At some point in our lives, we all deal with that question of, who am I, what am I doing here, and what do I want with this life? And so I think the sooner you start to think about that, the better.
Will you start to realize who you are? What makes you happy?
So many people are not thinking, and so they're like a skiff out on the ocean. They've got no motor, they've got no sail, and they're just being tossed about from wave to wave.
I always go around, I smile at people, and they smile back. And sometimes they wonder, how can you be so happy? And my question is, how can I not?
Okay, so I'm trying this new thing where I try to do something new that I've never done before once a week. And today was Bikram yoga. And It was good. I was able to remain conscious throughout the entire experience, so I'm calling it a win. Bikram yoga, day 3. I didn't think it was possible, but I think somehow I'm getting sweatier and sweatier each time. I don't know if you can see my shirt here, but I am a mess. I'll tell you what, I'm not the most skilled in that class, but I'm the best rester that there is. The second she says, get in the corpse pose and just lay down and relax, I'm there in a heartbeat.
I looked at myself like I was a big plastic tote, and inside of that tote were a whole bunch of other small boxes, and inside of all those boxes are all the things about me, both physical and personal and social, all of the different things that I can look at myself and say, I'm this, I like this, I do this, I have this on me every day. And I took all of those out of the box, just and scattered them out and like set them out, and then I went through and I like grabbed them one at a time and looked at them, and I was like, I like that, that's cool. Put that in there. I like that, that's okay. Put that in there, and no, that kind of sucks. I'm leaving that one out. And that was a really powerful experience.
All right, driving through Crater Lake National Park, holding my camera while driving, real bad idea, super dangerous. But having one of my favorite experiences of this trip, which have happened a few times, and that is when I look at my cell phone and in the top left corner it says no service, and then I go to the radio to try to find a radio station, and it scans and scans and can't find one. And it feels cool to know that you're kind of off the grid in a place where it's just you and nature and Crater Lake in this case. You are the nucleus for all that is your life. You are the captain of your own ship, as I think Walt Whitman said. And that's very cool. And you choose what you eat, you choose who you're with, you choose what you do, you choose your attitude to a certain degree. And I think that that's pretty encouraging. Made it to Reno. Met some guy that says Johnny Cash shot him. It's not true, it's a bad joke. For whatever reason decided to drive all night last night, and got here at like 4 a.m., which in retrospect was probably a bad idea. I was on this like 1-lane highway in the middle of like this national forest, and there's no gas stations for miles and miles, and it was pitch black, and I didn't see another car for like 2 hours. So if I were to crash or something went wrong, no one would have ever found me, I don't think. But happy ending to the story. I made it. I like Reno. People give it a hard time, but I think it's cool. I'm in Yosemite National Park, trying to make my way to Half Dome, but I'm lost as usual, and the sun is starting to set, which is problematic as well. But hopefully I'll get there, and then I gotta figure out a place to put my car and sleep for the night. Phases of Half Dome, so that must in fact be Half Dome. Every day is a winding road. I get a little bit closer. Every day is a painted sign. I get a little bit closer, feeling fine. It's a little Sheryl Crow action for y'all. I remember listening to that song when I was like 11. Does that sound right? I don't know, I guess I dealt with a lot when I got sick, because I was a soccer player and I was a saxophone player, and then I got cancer and I lost 3 years of my life basically to that. And so while I was in a hospital getting treated with chemotherapy and who knows what else, everyone else had 3 years to work still, and so I was never the same after that.
I think you choose your attitude every day. And I'd rather be happy than not. I can't change what's happening to me. So I try very, very hard not to dwell on what I can't change. I can only control what I can control. And that's my attitude.
I kind of had to realize that I wasn't going to be the person that I had kind of banked on for, 15 plus years. I'm a little bit tired. I ended up camping with these people I just met. So that was kind of frightening, but I'm still here. Nobody murdered me, so that feels good. And a little somber today, I think, because I've gotten to spend a lot of time with cool people recently. With Thanksgiving, I stayed at a buddy's place and got to see his family and whatnot, and met some other cool people and stayed with them in Tucson for a long time. So I've been spoiled by a bunch of social engagements for the last week or so here. So kind of realizing now that it's back to the lonely, lonesome, open road is kind of humbling, but what are you going to do?
I think embracing the full quality of life, all of its ups and downs, was really the point, to live fully every day. And if it happens to be a happy moment, soak it in. But if it's one of those more painful ones, you have to move through it. You can't go around it.
I mean, I've had a couple of strokes. I've had a heart attack. I spent 5 years in a wheelchair and was told I would never walk again. No less, I was in a nursing home for a while. I had to go back to rehab to learn how to feed myself, to learn how to dress myself, to learn how to start taking steps again. I had to start all over again. And as you can see, I'm still smiling. Mm-hmm. Now, during that process, I wasn't. I guarantee you, I was hell. I was miserable, depressed, angry, everything you want to put out there, I was. But the thing is, I refused to dwell in it.
Anybody in the entire universe. And I think that in order for somebody to be happy, you have to love yourself first.
If you see that I love myself, it's because I spend every day trying to affirm and reaffirm to myself my goodness, because I know the world won't do it.
I had a young man that was trying to do he said he wanted to be an anesthesiologist, but he couldn't pass biology 1 because it wasn't his passion. So I said to him, what do you like? He loved the outdoors. And I said, well, why don't you think about criminal justice and game warden and things like that? And he said another adult statement that there's no money in a state job. Mm-hmm. And I said to him, when you get my age, I'm not a spring chicken, but when you get my age, you really want to wake up and be happy on whatever it is that you choose to do.
Do what you love, to hell with, the naysayers, it's your life.
And so my first bike trip, the first thought I ever wrote from my little reflections books was, I'd rather be seen for who I am and be alone than be accepted for someone I'm not and be lonely.
I think that's a huge part of happiness and acceptance. And it's one of the things about life that I find the most stressful is to like know that I can't do everything and be everything. Like that's really upsetting to me in like a fundamental way, that I won't know what it's like to be a professional basketball player or an astronaut or an actor or a school teacher. Like with every decision you make in life, you open a certain amount of doors and you close a certain amount of other ones.
It's a mantra as much for me as for my kids. And I don't know who said it, but I heard it once, and it's comparison is the thief of joy.
You are perfect. Every single person on this planet is absolutely perfect. I think once more people start to realize that what we have and what you've been given is absolutely perfect beyond a shadow of a doubt, then that's when a lot of people start experiencing some real serious happiness.
We can really boil it down to two options with anything in life. You either, something isn't the way you want it to be, you can either accept it and learn to like it the way it is, or you change your reality to what it is that you want it to be. Like, that's really it. Super cool.
It's part of our DNA. We want to be not only a part of something, not only a part of a sports or part of you being in the band or playing the saxophone, but you want to exercise that, and you want to feel significant, and you want to feel, you know, connected.
So I caught a bus and went from San Antonio to Corsicana, and went in and asked Glendine, would you marry me while I don't have a job, I don't have a steady income, I'm gambling on getting through officer candidate school, and I'll be in the Air Force.
That's an interesting proposal, Ben.
You know, the first thing people do a lot of times when they go in relationships, you know, I love you, I love you, I love you, now change, you know. Mm-hmm. But I say, whoever you're with, look for what's right and make it better instead of fixing what's wrong. Right. And in yourself and others, and it can lead to a really beautiful life.
And I've asked her frequently, over and over and over, how in the world have you put up with me? And she said, because I love you. And
62 years.
That's the reason.
62 years.
63 years ago, I married a little girl.
63. Is it 62 or 63?
60. Wait a minute. Married at 49, and here it is 13. It's going to be 4.
64.
A very nice man I just met named Lonnie gave me some directions on how to get here, because I am directionally impaired. But it's a super cool area, and nice people, and yeah, so I'm excited to check it out.
Have I wished I hadn't married her? Never. Have I wished I'd married somebody else? Never. She's mine, I'm hers, and that's the way it is.
Find that community elsewhere. It's definitely a chosen, like you choose your friends, or you choose the people that you surround yourself with, and I think that is so important.
I would say the most important thing for any human is to pick the location where you thrive, to physically locate someplace where you will thrive, either for a few months, a few years, or your whole life.
Community is so vital, and it's really vibrant in the city because it extends across the lines of people you know.
But I decided for 3 years just to use the bus system, just to see how, when you're in your comfort zone in your car, you're missing the opportunity to talk to people.
The meaningful life is when not only are you having fun, not only have you found something that you really like to do, but it's also for something better than just you.
I don't think you can have happiness without meaning. I think they go hand in hand. I mean, you can have a happy moment, but I don't think you can have a happy life without having some meaning and purpose, and, you know, I think they go hand in hand.
If I'm always looking for things that make me happy, it changes how I see the world in a way, right? I'm out there looking for the good stuff, looking for stuff that's fun or enjoyable to me. Get out and play, so you gotta exercise. Ooh. Someone said getting outside, right? That's a really good thing. The study shows that if you are out there running around, that makes you happier too. You get endorphins, which are these crazy chemicals in your body that make you feel good. And so you should be playing every day. Playing is good.
You have to do what you want to do when you wake up every day. Whatever you like to do for fun, it should be tied to what you want to do for a living. Because I'm a people person, I like entertaining, my house is like open to everybody. So I think you have to find a career that is so much like the things that you like to do.
There's some sort of new age saying like it's better to dig one really big hole than a bunch of small ones. And for me, that like digging one big hole, it gives me meaning. Like exploring something to that depth and not just kind of poking at things here and there, that gives me meaning. I'm happy when I'm pursuing something that for some reason really has me, you know, like this does.
In my mind, I'm doing what I was created to do, which was a source of wonderment, joy, almost completeness.
You have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes, you can steer yourself any direction you choose. You're on your own, and you know what you know, and you are the guy who decide where to go. There things can happen, and frequently do, to people as brainy and footsie as you. And when things start happening, don't worry, don't stew, just go right along, you'll start happening too. Oh, the places you'll go.
Happiness comes from is being connected to my own heart, and once I'm connected to my own heart, then I'm connected to others. And I see the oneness in everything, and I see the oneness with people and with nature and just with everything.
Beach, Florida, right here. Sitting on the dock. Beer in hand. All is good.
There were a few at the scene, but they all agreed that the slayer who ran looked like me. She walks these hills in a long black veil.
I have made it to Asheville, North Carolina, and yeah, it's been a weird couple days. It was my birthday yesterday, which was interesting. Got a couple texts and one call from friends who remembered, but otherwise spent it alone for the most part, which is kind of a weird and slightly depressing experience, but that's alright. It was new. And, there it is. I was hoping that would happen. All sorts of crazy storms, like I've never seen before, and driving on the freeway at night when it's like that is nuts, because it's just like pitch black, and then you see like this white vein through the sky and everything lights up for a split second and then it's back to pitch black. I don't know, it was crazy. One of the more frightening nights of my recent life, but also like really awesome in the literal sense of the word, as in inspiring awe.
I was always brought up to make other people happy, but when I realized, my brother actually was said something to me. He said, "Brock, you've got to be happy before, really happy before you can make other people happy." So it sounds selfish, but it's actually unselfish to me to be selfish about my happiness, because when I'm happy, I actually have energy to give more to others.
Everything you do has an influence that keeps on going. Everything. Every thought you think, everything you do.
That river is freaking freezing. I always thought it was funny to write as a kid, like Tony was here, and then I would pick a different part on the wall or desk and write "and here." For the beard? Any plans for my beard? No, this beard is an involuntary beard. Because I don't know where my razor is. It's pretty incredible how many things I lose in my car or can't find.
My belief is that when we're of service, that's what makes us happy. When we come out of ourselves, we're no longer in our head, but we're out in community making a difference. That's what makes us truly happy.
At the end of the day, we're pretty much exhausted because we've been investing in young adults with disabilities all day long, but there's no greater cause. And there's nothing better than investing in somebody else, especially special needs young adults. And that's where we get our joy from. I mean, think about it. We get to do this.
Mother Teresa talks a lot about service equating to joy. There's this really beautiful quote about it. But at the end of the day, not thinking about yourself, thinking about others and providing service to others can make you happy.
Half of your happiness, 50%, is genetic. You just kind of get lucky. It's like the lottery. Maybe you're a happy person, maybe you're not. And that 10% is kind of nurture and environment, right? Where you grow up, if you have parents and family that are there, if you have friends, etc. But that 40%, that other 40%, the remaining part, is all up to you. So what your decisions are, how you act, how you live, are ways that you can adjust your own happiness level, as they call it.
I'm a firm believer that people are only here for one reason. That's to help somebody else.
I think if you help people and you're a person of integrity, you're going to find happiness. It's going to find you. If you're not seeking it out, it's going to find you.
That seems to be a huge part of being happy, is not worrying about what happened yesterday or years before, and not being too concerned about what's happening tomorrow or the next day. It's kind of being right now, what's happy, what's great about this moment.
Have you heard of flow? Have people talk to you about that?
It's kind of like this flow. You were just kind of there, you know. And then when you look at it in retrospect, it's this like beautiful, crazy thing. But when you're in there, it's hard to like get yourself out of it. You don't want to get out of it. It's crazy. It's fun there.
Even in my happiest moments, I'll probably remember them as happier in retrospect than the moment I felt it, because in the moment I wasn't thinking about it, I was just doing stuff. But then I can look back and be like, that day with those people in that park, or that was happy, that was good.
I follow the things that I lose track of time with. And if all of a sudden it's 3 hours later and I'm enjoying it, I should probably keep doing that.
So happiness to me is not to be achieved, but to be experienced.
Fear that you're going to make a mistake.
Right.
That if you don't have the whole thing planned out, that you're going to blow it. Or you're going to go in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
You're going to screw up somehow. And that keeps you from acting those first steps.
What is it that you want to share with people? Or what is it that you want people to receive from the time that you're with them?
Go forward, although you don't know exactly what the outcome is going to be.
Yeah.
But the outcome or the next steps come as you create, and that's been my experience, and it's been the source of joy, because I don't know, if you look at little kids, when they're creating, they're really happy.
Yeah.
And it's the same with us. When we're creating a world, or we're creating beauty, or we're creating a joy somewhere.
Yeah.
That we're happy.
Ladies and gentlemen, this guy is listening to us from California. So ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together. Welcome to the stage, Tony Cuso.
Yeah. Have you ever noticed that when you go into a restaurant, they always say the word just before the number of people in your party? And I think that that's mildly insulting. You see, come in when they'll say just 3, and I feel like I have to explain to them that I have other friends. I'm like, there are other people I could have brought. I just brought these 2 people.
Everything you do at every moment is influencing your life and who you are. And it's that Einstein, every action has an equal and opposite reaction. I'm not a scientific person, but I do find that in my life, that everything I do influences something else.
You don't know if you walk down the street and you smile at someone.
Right.
You don't know if that could be that positive grain of thought that tips the world to a more positive future. You don't know.
Yeah.
So give it all you have.
I'm grateful for life every day, and I can't separate that from happiness.
Life is as happy as you want it to be.
Always be inquisitive, curious. Don't worry about curiosity killing the cat. You're not a cat. Learn all you can. Experiment. This life is not a dress rehearsal. You get one shot.
I think the smallest moments in life that we let pass by that mean the most, and those are the ones that bring great joy to you.
waste a moment. Get the most out of this short, beautiful moment that we have on the planet.
This is River Bluffs State Park, or Great River Bluffs State Park, something like that, in Minnesota. And this is the Mississippi River here.
The most important is only very short period that we here in this world. The most important is how happy you are and how much you can impact others to be happy also.
All right, I'm about to go my first fly fishing experience, so wish me luck.
Everyone has a mission. If you're born to this place, this planet Earth, you're born for a reason. So try to find your path.
Be gentle with yourself and be good to yourself and love who you are.
And I choose to be happy. I like happy faces and I like happy people around me. And I just encourage everyone to have the courage to take that step. Choose to be happy today.
Happiness life is experience. I mean, you really have to just kind of get out there and you try stuff and you love it and you're like, yeah, found something, and you hate it and you think, okay, I'm not gonna do that anymore. But I really think that that's it. Like, happiness is the willingness to work to be happy. Happiness is the willingness to try to figure out what that means.
I can't imagine not finding something good every day to either laugh about or, and a belly laugh. I mean a belly laugh. I got a belly, so I might as well have a belly laugh is what I tell people.
If you're not waking up every day kind of crazy about being alive and doing what you're doing, like, first of all, acknowledge that and realize that, and second, think about what it is that would make you jump out of bed and be like, this is a pretty fantastic thing to be alive. I'll get down at times, like there are moments where I'll be like, oh man, like I'm just the same as I was. And then I'll kind of like take a step back and small things will happen, or I'll like act in a certain way. Or I'll be like, oh, that's right, like I wouldn't have done that. And I think that's true of life in general, like we're gonna be really rough on ourselves to be like, man, like I'm not being who I want to be, but you kind of give yourself a small break, then you see these glimpses of you being like on the path to what you want to be doing.
It doesn't matter how far you have to go. Enjoy the ride. You will pick up many, many experiences. And when you finally arrive where you want it to be, you will look back and see that everything played an important part to get you where you were.
The purpose of the documentary is not to tell anybody how to be happy. I don't think that anyone can do that, but more so a call to action. If we're not spending time thinking about what we actually enjoy, what makes this life worth living, what are we doing? To me, there's no more important pursuit in your life than to understand yourself and what makes you happy.
Thank you.